All right, traders, welcome to today's recap. Really quick recap today. It is Thursday, end of week. This is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group. And yes, Thursday, we are off tomorrow, so Thursday caps the week. Nice way to end the week. Big ramp into the close. Risk disclaimer in front of you. Everything that we're going through is for information purposes only, not giving out any advice, recommendations, anything like this. So, like I said, quick video. We're going to do something a little bit different. We'll do quick a chart review. See if we can keep this video down under 10 minutes. Quick market message, right? We're on to the new month of April. Sometimes, like today, I think it's first of the day, first of the month flows. We typically see that. I never really like to go out on Twitter and talk about it because I'm afraid I'm going to jinx it. Because sometimes you say it and it's not there. But yes, first of the month flows, I think definitely had an impact. People, for whatever reason, funds like to put some new money to work on the first day of the month. So be it. Seems to happen more often than not. So I have that in there. Just final thoughts on March and quarter end. Just to be positive here, because I've talked a lot about this. I sent out a video to members earlier on just P&L analysis and what I would like to improve and so on and so forth. But I'll just say this: if you did not have a great month for March, this happens in trading. By the way, there are certain times of the year. March is always a not a great time of the year, but there will be just throughout the year. Every year in trading, there's always some challenging periods that you have to get through, that you have to make it through, and sometimes you make mistakes in those time frames. The main message here is if you had a bad month, number one, it happens in trading. If you did some things that you thought you made mistakes, then make sure you review and make adjustments going forward. That's it, right? So we'll get into the chart review, but it's important. It's important to realize that not every month is going to be easy in trading, and it's not always easy in trading. A lot of times it's, quite honestly, it's difficult, right? And I think many people realize that, right? That trading isn't always easy, is what's in March. So we'll start with the S&P chart. Hey, look at this. We're out to new highs. Really nice ramp into, to the end of the day. If you watched yesterday's video, what did I say? I said that I like the S&P chart a lot here, and I think that we could possibly get not just the Qs and not just the growth stocks, I know which has all the focus, but just broad participation, right? A lot of things working in different groups. I'm going to go through some of those groups in this video, but out really nice, price action today out to new highs. And keep in mind, I do think now that we've got no resistance in front of us, and finally, for the last 3 weeks, we've been going sideways, right? So here's the move out of the range, right? And now it could get a little bit better here. I don't want to jinx it, but April is a better seasonal time of the year. So let's see if that kind of lives up to to history. I hope it does. Qs. Let's talk about the Qs really quick. They had a nice move as well into the close. Up 1.7% and above the 50-day moving average. That was something that I talked about in yesterday's video as well. We have a new value area for the month, and we're above value. We're above the 50-day moving average. Hey, this is great. First clean move back above the 50-day moving average since, basically in the first of the month when there was buying. Remember, there was big buying on the first of the month in March, too. And that was basically it for the Qs. So we're back to where we were. We've kind of come full circle in terms of the Qs. IWM, small caps. I was going to say micro caps. We can look at that chart too, but that's also back above the 50-day moving average. So that's not bad either, right? Here are the micro caps, right? What about the Dow? The Dow, kind of still moving in the right direction, but underperformed a little bit today. But still looks fine, looks great. In value, it's one of the only ones that will be inside value, right? Qs are above value, S&P above value, so on and so forth. So let's talk about just very quickly. I'm about halfway into the video. So, outperformers, the energy stocks, that was something that surprised me. I know that there was some OPEC stuff today, but you look at this in hindsight 2020, but I tweeted out a chart, I think, of XOP earlier, but this was your best performing group today. So it took about a couple weeks of digestion, checking back to the 20-day moving average, a little bit back and forth, but energy stocks, or old energy, if you want to call them that, pretty good. XLE looks pretty good too. All right. So of course, I think what was really the tell that what was the positive of the last week was the semiconductors, right? They just started to look healthier and healthier as the week went on. SMH up 3.9%. That was helped by, of course, Micron's earnings. But also just, Applied Materials, unbelievable, really, really strong. That was up another 5.9% today. I got out of my, and this was a group that we've talked about. We talked about the Applied Materials, the Texas Instruments, the ASML, Lam Research. Right. One of the things that we talked about in the trading room too is that you had to kind of pick and choose a little bit. Look at this, Lam Research up 7.4%. That's $44. Huge move in Lam Research, but you kind of had to pick and choose. I know some traders also played this ON Semi in the trading room. Very, very nice move, but it's tough. You can't really own all of them. I would say, in terms of risk management. You could own the ETF, right, too. ENTG was the one that I held on to today. That was up 7.4% too. I really liked the chart pattern and capitalized on that. So had some nice winners in the semiconductors. We've been talking about them. That was also part of our watch list trade for the week too, so those performed great, and then also Taiwan Semi came out with some news too. So perhaps Taiwan Semi, which is what I said last night on Twitter, perhaps this gets going a little bit. It is a very strong company. They announced some big investments. I think they said $100 billion is what they want to invest. So there's a VPOC up there at 128 to shoot for. Besides that, I would say the couple of the FANG names started to look pretty good today. I think Google looks great. I put on a little bit of a trade for Google, right? I mean, this has been so, we talked about Google earlier in the week as being very coiled up here, and it just seemed like it was a matter of time that this was going to come out of the coil. So I'm long a little bit of Google through a call spread for next week. But yeah, I'm hoping that this thing is going to go in the keep going in the direction of the trend here, and I like that it finally got out of this really heavy coiled pattern. Remember, coiling is when three moving averages are wrapped around one another. So very strong in Google. I also think, this is an ETF that we talked about earlier in the week, right? This is tech, some more old school tech. It's tech with dividends. So tech dividend ETF just looks a bit healthier, doesn't it? I mean, XOK looks fine here too, but if you want the leadership, it's been, the of course, it's a little bit more of a value type trade. But also, if you look in the components of this, it's pretty surprising. There's a few semiconductors in this one as well, this ETF as well. I'm going to keep moving here. What I thought was also interesting, of course, another group that we keep talking about is the home builders. They look like they were strong all day today. If you go through this group, you're going to find some decent setups. I like this TPH, right? This TriPoint group. It's only a $21 stock, but just coming out of just not huge volume today, but coming out of digestion, and I think this thing pushes to new highs too. A few other names that I just saw a little bit, one-offs, but I think Target looks pretty good too out of the retail groups. Out of the retail group, came out to new highs here. 1, 2, 3 inside days, and I think this kind of continues in its prevailing trend. I also forgot to talk about Nvidia today too, but where do I think Nvidia can get to? Nice move above the 50-day moving average. We talked about this. Now, again, may not get there in a straight line, but you have a virgin point of control up there at 560. Here's a good application, and I like this stock too as a more of an aggressive momentum play. But this Upstart Holdings, I day traded this one today in the room. We really mapped this one out pretty good. Just wait for Thinkorswim to adjust here for a second. But, I noticed that there was some nice volume, coming out of this consolidation in here. So, again, just wait for Thinkorswim to adjust a little bit. But here's a great application of using the MarketWebs in a VPOC. By the way, we have a member webinar where we're going to be going over the new release that we put together for the MarketWebs. More virgin point of controls. But here's, I called this thing out in the room once we got, I entered for 140. I think it was 142, and rode this thing right up to the VPOC at 147. Now, just because it took this thing out doesn't mean the trade is over. I would watch for next week. We'll see if this thing can kind of stay above this 144 level. All right, so a nice name there. There's a few other names that I want to go through, but I think we'll end the video here because I said it would be 10 minutes. So if you like this type of these type of chart setups, we do this all day long. There's a bunch of other ones to go through too. If you're not a member of Tribeca Trade Group, I think that one of the things that I realized this month was we have a great group of a great community of traders, and you can go here to sign up to be a member of Tribeca Trade Group. Of course, we'll be putting out our weekend notes for members, macro video as well as watch list video, what I want to concentrate on for next week, the trends that I want to concentrate both in the US and international. So there you have it. Right on our Twitter page, you can sign up to be a member. Check it out for a month. You won't be disappointed. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching.